Here's the strange part about Tyler, the Creator's career. Most people think he completely changed, but what if he never actually did? What if the loud, rebellious teenager from the Odd Future days and the polished artist behind IGOR are actually the same person, just at different stages of the same creative plan? Because Tyler's biggest reinvention wasn't changing who he was, it was changing how the world saw him. When Tyler first broke through in the early 2010s, he became known for shock value, chaotic videos, and controversial lyrics. That image made him famous, but it also threatened to define his entire career. Instead of fighting that reputation overnight, Tyler slowly built something much bigger, and almost nobody noticed it happening in real time. The first clue came with Wolf. Compared to his earlier work, the album leaned further into storytelling, stronger production, and more personal themes. The edgy humor was still there, but the music itself was becoming far more ambitious. Then came Cherry Bomb. At the time, critics were divided. Some loved its experimentation, while others found it messy. But Tyler has since described it as an important creative step. He was chasing bigger arrangements, richer instrumentation, and sounds that didn't fit neatly into traditional rap. Looking back, Cherry Bomb feels less like a misstep and more like a bridge, because without it, Flower Boy probably doesn't exist, and that's where everything clicked. When Flower Boy arrived in 2017, listeners heard a more reflective Tyler. The production became warmer, the songwriting became more vulnerable, themes of loneliness, identity, and personal growth replaced much of the shock value that had dominated his early reputation. The album also sparked widespread discussion about Tyler's personal life and identity because of its lyrics. Rather than making definitive public declarations at the time, Tyler largely let the music speak for itself, leading to broad critical conversation while avoiding simplistic labels.
But here's the part people often miss. The music wasn't the only thing changing. The bright colors, the carefully designed album covers, the fashion. Wang expanded into a recognizable lifestyle brand with its own colorful identity. Even Tyler's performances became more cinematic. By the time IGOR arrived, it felt like entering an entirely different universe. The blonde wig, the pastel suits, the choreography, the character, everything served the story. And that's exactly the point. Tyler wasn't just releasing albums anymore. He was building complete creative worlds. That's why each era feels unforgettable. Not because the songs changed alone, but because every visual, every outfit, every stage design, and every piece of branding reinforced the same artistic vision. Then, Call Me If You Get Lost proved something even bigger. After embracing melody, soul, and pop influences, Tyler showed he could still rap at an elite level without abandoning everything he built. Instead of choosing between old Tyler and new Tyler, he combined them. So what was Tyler's real reinvention? It wasn't becoming a different artist. It was refusing to let one version of himself become permanent. In interviews over the years, Tyler has consistently emphasized following his own creative instincts rather than audience expectations. That philosophy shows up across his music, fashion, videos, festivals, and business ventures. His evolution feels authentic because each phase grows naturally from the last instead of rejecting it completely. That's a difficult balance and one of the biggest reasons his reinvention has lasted. Tyler's story isn't really about changing, it's about evolving with intention. He proved that artists don't have to stay trapped inside the character that first made them famous. Sometimes the biggest creative risk isn't shocking people, it's allowing them to watch you grow. And if one album perfectly captures that philosophy, it's IGOR, a project whose creation completely changed the way many people view Tyler as both a producer and a storyteller.